President Trump says that he wants to help dreamers, but only if Democrats agree to help keep America's borders safe.
We want the wall. The wall's going to happen or we're not going to have DACA. We all want DACA to happen, but we also want great security for our country.
We believe there should be border security, real border security, and help for the dreamers.
What they want to do is take 800,000 dreamers and cap them. Democrats have to hold the line.
So what will it take to bring Democrats to the table to negotiate DACA? Here now to weigh in is former New York Congresswoman Dr. Nan Hayworth and former Obama administration official and the executive editor of Cafe, Jake Maccoby. Thank you both for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start with you, because what is the difference now with many of these Democrats who agreed to some of this happening when it was during the Obama administration? What's the difference now? Why are they not willing to negotiate?
Well, I think there are two things here. The first is that I think Democrats want President Trump to stick to his promises during the campaign, which is that the American people weren't going to have to pay a dime for this wall and that Mexico was going to pay for it.
Which he did say on Saturday he believes Mexico is still going to pay for it.
Right. Now the question is, are they going to reimburse the American people? Is there some sort of a payment plan? We're sort of having to take his word for it that this money is going to come, and I think the American people would like to see the money first. That's thing one. The second thing is that this isn't $18 billion for a completed project. This is an $18 billion down payment for a project that is estimated to cost $70 billion to build and $150 million a year to maintain. And I think what we're talking about here is just holding President Trump accountable and making sure that the American people don't have to pay all that money when they were promised they wouldn't have to.
So, Nan, what do you think in terms of, combining DACA with border security and immigration reform?
Yeah, well, I think it's crucial. I mean, clearly the president has expressed compassion toward DACA beneficiaries. I think that
we heard him say right there he wants it to continue.
Precisely. He's broadly supported by the American public. So this is a great opportunity for him to link the crucial, as President Clinton himself said, we are a nation of immigrants, but we're also a nation of laws. So it is crucial that we have border security, and there's also broad American public support for the kind of security that a wall is a crucial part of. And indeed, the president's been very resourceful about getting foreign colleagues, nations to cooperate with us financially in ways that others had not. So I'm confident that when the president says he's going to have contributions from Mexico, they'll be there.
And you were talking about the $70 billion number. I mean, there's $18 billion for the wall and then additional $15 billion for added security measures, more money going to Border Patrol agents, that type of thing. And that's what Democrats agreed to before. But the problem is combining it with DACA. Is that the issue?
No, that's not the issue. And a couple of things. The first one is that when we talk about the support of the American people, only about 39%, this is a Fox News poll, 39% of the American public want to build a wall along the southern border, which would involve, by the way, seizing land from U.S. landholders right now. Private landholders and U.S. states hold 2/3 of the land of the border.
But overwhelmingly, people do agree that something needs to be done about immigration, both Democrats and Republicans.
Well, Donald Trump made a deal with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi back in September that involved additional money for border security and excluded a wall, and now he's turned around and said, actually, that was a bad deal. I want to make this deal instead. So, the president may get mulligans on the golf course, but this is a little bit different. You don't get a do-over on a deal like this.
Nan?
Clearly an element, a significant element of physical security is going to be involved with protecting our borders. I mean, it will be combined with technology. It will be combined with all sorts of other measures. But it is a perfectly rational thing to propose that we have physical barriers as well.
And there's also the issue of chain migration and the visa lottery program as well, and linking that into it.
These are separate issues, though, and I think it's important to note that the dreamers that are covered by DACA, 83% of Americans think that they should have a path to citizenship. That's a Fox News poll, and these are folks who serve in our military, who work in our businesses.
And as Nan said, I mean, the president does not disagree with you there.
But this would be an easy fix then. So if you set aside border funding, if you set aside a border wall, if you put that to the side, you can get this done tomorrow. We can get it done today.
Not really an easy fix, though, because they've had since what, October to get something done with the March deadline, September. The March deadline is coming up.
But the only thing, exactly, the March deadline is coming up, and this would be an
and
easy
that has
fix.
nothing to do with President Trump. I mean, they could not come to some sort of agreement in that amount of time.
Well, they did come to an agreement initially. originally, and now he's changed the term. So if you set the wall aside and you just say that we will do this today, we'll do the border funding that we talked about in September, and we'll make sure that the Dreamers can stay, which the American people want. In part because they're part of our communities, and in part because kicking them out would cost $460 billion.
Nan, final word.
But he's always promised that we're going to have a wall, and Democrats have indeed supported a wall. President Obama himself, when he was a senator, supported a wall. So this is part of what the Democratic Party has also promised to the American people, and it's incumbent upon them to cooperate with the president, with the Senate majority, to get this done.
No matter who the president is. Maybe that's the issue, who the president is at this particular time. We'll see. We'll see if they can come to agreement, right?
Well, I don't think that that's the issue, and I think that you know, we're talking about Donald Trump keeping his promise and not sticking the American people with an $18 billion bill for a wall they don't want.
Yeah. All right, which he does say Mexico will pay for. So thank you both for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it.